Hey, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy, James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not gonna happen this video, but that's all right. You know what? It will be a time where I'll watch my mouth, but not today. Joining me as always is my girl, Mrs. Besh. I'll say what's up to her.
Good afternoon, beautiful people.
Also, happy Saturday to Jim Bunny in my comments already. I appreciate you being here. I don't know if this is a show you watch, Jim Bunny, but we finna get into it nonetheless. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to both channels. Mrs. Best has her own channel in my description box. Please click the link and it will go directly to her channel. Any recaps or reviews that I don't do on mine, we do on hers. So, like today, for example, we have Deb's house right after this live. So, make sure you are there. But happy Saturday and welcome, and let's get on right to it. So, oh, okay, very good, very good. So, chime in your opinion when we get to talking too. So, the show actually opens where it left off last episode when it came to Justin's performance, which is Jermisha's husband. He's a singer, and he has kind of like this open mic night at this lounge. It's a very nice lounge. And where we leave off is Jaquita was questioning Lakeisha's text message to everybody because she was out of town at the time. They had the brokers. Oh, hi Shayna, how you doing, love? Thank you for stopping by. But they were talking about her girlfriend Caramel and how she's disrespectful and how when she comes around, her energy isn't always there. They forget she's in the room. So Lakeisha and Carmel are walking in as they're talking about them, and you hear Jermisha saying, "They're here, they're here, they're here." Like, y'all stop talking, y'all stop talking. So once they get there, they just kind of cut right into it. And they were saying, we were just talking about, what happened between you and her from our point of view. Y'all had got into it when your ex-girlfriend had called your phone. But what we find out this episode that we did not know last episode is Aunt Nikki actually called the ex-girlfriend to tell her what happened and to call Lakeisha when she gets a moment. So she picked the day that Jermisha was having sort of like another formal repass for them to comfort her through her grievance and loss to go ahead and spill that conversation. And so when the ex-girlfriend was calling, Caramel was not in the loop that that's what Aunt Nikki had did. And as she's explaining herself to the girls of what actually happened and why she was so mad and everything, she comes to find out that Aunt Nikki just did it just because she felt like she needed some support, and that was someone they knew and they felt like they would have supported. And the girl's standpoint is, why won't you let her just have this moment versus you going heightened just because the ex-girlfriend was calling her? Now, Mrs. Best, because you are a married woman and I'm someone who just got out of a relationship, if JoJo's ex were to call his phone, if, God forbid, because I don't wish this on anybody, if that situation happened, would you just take it on the chin or would you act the way Caramel acted upon knowing that information?
I would not be upset. I feel like if it's a cousin or something, fine, but this girl's mother passed away. I'm not saying don't address it, but if you know it's something you're not going to be get over and it's a deal breaker, break up regardless of what's going on and keep it lit. Outside of that, it's not the time to address it, especially at the event. It's not the time to leave. You should just be supporting your partner. But I'm married, Caramel and this girl are not. So, I feel like in a marriage, that's the expectation. If I wasn't married and the ex is calling, I still wouldn't be upset just because I've actually had an ex that had a parent pass and I reached out to him and JoJo's aware of it. I don't see the issue with it, but I also, yes, Jen, wrong place and wrong time. Caramel did it without any tact. Like she was just incredibly selfish. And I don't like Caramel, y'all. I said it. I don't know why, but something about her rubs me wrong. I don't. She just seems more concerned with herself than she does with Lakeisha. Like you're mad at a phone call. People are gonna reach out when someone's parent passes. It's how it goes.
And I agree with that. And I don't know why that wouldn't have been the first thought in the first place, because there's obviously history when an ex calls and wants to make sure you're okay losing your parent. Y'all, I lost a parent. So I completely understand getting a call from somebody you don't think you're going to get a call from. It's like, yes, I would love that. Like, honestly, I would love for anybody to reach out to me saying, "Hey, are you good?" No matter who I'm with. So I kind of felt like, from Lakeisha's standpoint, I would understand wanting to get the call, and thankfully Aunt Nikki with her messy behind did it. But at the same time, I agree with you as well. Caramel reacted horribly. That is not something you do when someone loses a parent of all things. So I just felt like she was being incredibly
She acted like the girl slept with her. It was a damn phone call. Like,
right.
she's acting like in actual, like, real time, the girl slept with her.
Like I
Like,
could see if the girl pulled up and was hugging all up on her and making it seem like didn't nothing happen. I could see if it was that. Then that would have been different. Now I'd be like, okay, we crossing too many boundaries here. Let's scale it back a little bit, ma'am. Let's scale it back a little bit. But all it was a phone call. And I said, girl, you tripping off a phone call. So as the conversation is going, Justin is trying to sing his little song, but he can't even do it because they're being loud and trying to get through this like whole situation. So he does sing his song, but then they go right back to the conversation. So Jaquita was like, "Well, so what happened?" So Aunt Nikki, you was just being messy, which Aunt Nikki was. I'm about to get Aunt Nikki together too because I didn't like what she did in this scene. But Lakeisha, after hearing Nicole say, "Well, your mama died," it was the way Nicole kept saying it. I was like, "Girl, stop saying it like that." So when Jermisha said, "Yeah, when your mama died and stuff," Lakeisha had enough. And I am y'all. I understand. As I said, I recently just lost a parent, so I understand when someone mentions that it does tug at your heart. Like it really does, because there's a realization you really don't want to face. You don't want to face it at all. So when someone could repeatedly keep saying, "Well, your mama died, your mama died, your mama died," it was like I felt Lakeisha. I did. I was like, everyone on social media said she was overreacting. No, she was not. Y'all, that is not an overreaction. That is a constant reminder, and it was a recent death. From what I understand, it was within the last year. So it's like, no, that stuff is still fresh, and she still has to heal. And maybe this is her only comfort right now. So Lakeisha says, Caramel, we leaving. We leaving. I can't do this right now. I can't. Y'all bringing up my mama's, and I'm telling you guys not to bring it up, but you keep bringing it up. And Aunt Nikki was like, oh, so she gets to leave and she doesn't get to deal with this. She gets to leave. And Lakeisha walked back because she heard her say, she go, yeah, I'm leaving. I told y'all to stop talking about my mama and y'all won't. So I'm going to get up and go. She go, and Aunt Nikki's like, that's not okay. That's not okay. And they're trying to tell Aunt Nikki, look, she just lost her mama. Like, come on, like you are being real insensitive. Like, what would happen if your dad was here? And she goes, he would want this. And then she burst out and cried. And I said, for real, lady, for real, are you serious right now? Before I read her for Dear God, I'm Mrs. Best. How did you feel on Nikki acted in that moment?
I, listen, I knew I couldn't trust this lady based on her choice of wigs, and she has not surprised me. It was incredibly insensitive, and it proves what Lakeisha was saying about feeling left out and whatnot in the family. Because if it was any of them other nieces, I don't feel she would have reacted that way, no matter how dramatic she is. So, to some extent, the family's all kind of gaslighting Lakeisha on her feelings on things, and it's interesting that everybody keeps speaking like, "Oh, her mama died, her mama died, her mama died." It doesn't matter if it's your mom or your damn dog. If you cared about somebody and they pass away, you don't want to keep hearing they're gone, they're gone, they're gone, they're gone, they're gone, they're gone, they're gone. And that's what they're saying every time they say her mama died. So everybody was insensitive to her feelings, and they're doing all of this for what? These people are not engaged. Okay? They're not married. Like, wait till they at least have a ring or a proposal before y'all freak out like that. But I just felt everybody was insensitive and it was inappropriate. I don't blame Lakeisha for leaving. And she could have done more, but she didn't cuss nobody out. She just said, y'all keep doing this, so I'm gone. So I mean, but Nikki, there's a reason she hangs out and is closer to the G2s versus her actual siblings.
I'm about to get that together right now because I see what she doing. I peeped it. Now I see what you're doing, and I
Yeah.
agree. I felt like Lakeisha did do the right thing by walking away. And once again, her mother was nothing to anybody in this room. So y'all bringing this up, it's a silver bullet because it wasn't like she was married to her father, and y'all already treat her like she the other child based on the episode we got to see when the show comes back. But here's my thing about Aunt Nikki. Aunt Nikki, what I'm gonna need you to stop doing, I need you to find your place. Because the way you moving on this show, is really annoying. You want to be an auntie when it comes to making sure they all respect you, but then you want to be the cousin and hang out with them and act like you one of them. And I feel like, because she is closer to their age and she is her siblings' age, maybe that's where she fits in. But you cannot pick and choose when you want to be an auntie and you want them to respect you. Meanwhile, you going out with them and having girls' night with them. It doesn't work like that, ma'am. So you getting offended and crying because Lakeisha had boundaries and told you to stop bringing up her mother does not make it okay for you to cry and make the situation about you. I felt like that was the most asinine thing I've ever seen in my life. And I want you to stop this. You need to cut this out. Either you're gonna be their auntie and have some boundaries, or you're gonna be their cousin and party and shut the hell up when someone calls you out because you were being messy by calling that lady's ex like that and then starting all this drama and then gonna sit back and cry in the cut because someone held your ass accountable. That was crazy as hell to me. I was like, what? And she the oldest one out of all of them.
Family should know once you've broken up with somebody, you don't need to be reaching out to them. Once your family member not with them no more, there's no reason, in my opinion, to be
Right. Like, what was your point of reaching out to that lady's ex-girlfriend? What was the
knowing she
point of
had a
that?
current person.
Right.
Messy.
It gives you don't like caramel, and that might be justified. I'm not saying she's not, she's right or wrong for not liking the new girlfriend, but that doesn't mean you call the ex-girlfriend saying, hey, Lakeisha's going through this. I think you need to call her, knowing that she has somebody. That's messy as hell. And then you want to sit and cry because she told you not to bring up her mama. And she said, y'all keep bringing it up. So, yes, I am leaving. It's not like she cussed you out. It's not like she read you for filth, which she could have because I would have if it was me. But no, I need Aunt Nikki to pick a lane because she getting on my nerves with this. She want to be a cousin when it's convenient and get in with them, but then she want to be their auntie when they start holding her ass accountable for the shit she be saying on the slide. Yeah. I thought the ex did it free will. Nope, it was Aunt Nikki. So what Aunt Nikki did was Aunt Nikki called her and told her to go call Lakeisha and check on her. It was very messy. Unless the former couple has children together, that family needs to cut ties with the ex. Absolutely.
Exactly.
And we know they don't have no baby together
Exactly.
because Lakeisha's child is 20 years old. So we know, and then we know that, and we know she ain't been gay that long. So come on. Let's not even, yeah. That was so messy. I was so mad looking at her. And when she started crying that ugly cry, it was doing all them dramatics. I was like, look at this. See, you could tell she's the baby, and you could tell she's been spoiled. And when someone holds her as accountable, she get to crying, and that would ease the parents' heart because
Yeah,
the
she's the
parents,
youngest, and so
mhm,
she probably got spoiled. And then, in addition to being youngest, she's the auntie that's the same age as all of them. So, like you said, the respect, no matter what it was, she's getting her way from either direction, from the younger
yes,
ones and the OGs. So, she was just the old ass spoiled lady who needs a new wig. That's it. And a little bit of therapy. Nikki gonna be all right, but I think that she might be responsible for a lot of the mess. It was manipulative as
absolutely,
hell.
and it was because all it did is because they all rallied around her to respect her as the aunt. But what y'all need to start realizing is that's not y'all. That is y'all aunt by title, but that is y'all cousin by circumstance because she's choosing to hang around all of y'all whenever y'all go out or whenever y'all have dinners. I don't care if she work at that firm or not. Either you're going to be with your sisters and be their auntie and leave them alone, or you're gonna be their cousin and mix with them. And when they say something to you, don't take it that personal.
I'm telling you, Nikki's crying. That's not the first time she's done that
No.
because she looked around before she broke down. I ain't never seen damn nobody take a second to look to their left, look to their right, and analyze the situation and then decide, oh, it's time to put the tears on. Here come the waterworks. She
Right.
does this all the time, probably to get out of messiness because really the only fluid channel between what the G2s and the G1s got
Hmm.
going on separately, how did they know what's going on with each other? It's got to be through her. So I said
Yeah.
it from the
And
beginning.
Jim Bunny,
Messy.
yes, coddled all her life because you know what it is. To me, I don't think she can't be no more than 10 years older than Jermisha. I'm gonna
No,
give she can't be that much older than Jermisha because Jermisha is the firstborn grandchild. So I'm thinking maybe there may be 8 or 9 or 10 years between them two. So it's probably Jermisha's mama probably had Nikki and Jermisha raising them together. That's my assumption of it. I could be wrong, and I don't really care either way because it ain't my business. But I kind of feel like she has this way of being the little child and then being the aunt when it comes to hierarchy. And I don't like that because you're playing both sides. And then when they can't tell you how they feel because you're the aunt, then you want to cry and make all these dramatics. And then that makes them look wrong on TV. I don't like that, y'all. I don't like it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, there can't be no more than 10 years between her and Jermisha. There can't be. So we gonna move on, y'all, because before I read her again, because she got on my nerves that entire scene. Like when I watched it the second time, I said, "Oh my god, I need somebody to do something with her because she gonna work my nerves this whole entire season." Moving on, y'all. So the next day, Nicole is on her way to Jaquita's house to talk to Chris about this contract because she has it all pulled up. But before she gets there, she calls Jermisha and she goes, "Hey, I'm on my way to Chris' house. I'm finna get him the contract." And she said that her point of view of Aunt Nikki crying, her and Monet was sitting there laughing the entire time because they didn't know she was serious or if she was actually just playing with them. And I said Nicole had the right feel. This is the one time I'm agree with Nicole. They know Aunt Nikki wasn't serious. They know she was doing that for dramatics and wanting people to coddle her, like Jim Bunny said here, that wasn't real. So she was laughing because it was like, we didn't know she was really serious. And that's what I'm saying. They don't know how to have boundaries with Aunt Nikki because she's around them more than her siblings. So they don't know how to really take her and have that auntie respect when she's acting like the cousin sister. That's what I'm saying. This is another example of that. But she tells her that she's pulling up at Jaquita house and she's gonna have a conversation. So when she gets to Jaquita house, she opens the door. She says, "Hey," and she's calling Chris' name, just walking in these people's house, being loud as hell. I know this is the South. I know not everybody locked their doors and stuff, but like you can't just walk in my house hollering like that and just screaming like, "I'm gonna ask you," like, "Hey, go back and try it again. Ring the doorbell. Wait till I come and let you in." So once she gets there, Chris comes downstairs and she emailed them both the contract. Now, they're both looking at the contract and she's going to go over just the key terms of the contract, not even the full contract. But she wants him to be the complete creative director, which she wants him to be take maybe 3 to 5 days and actually have film content of them. Make sure he hires the actors, hire the models, hire everybody. She wants him there at this location, at that location. Then she wants a commercial, just doing a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm sitting over here looking at Nicole like, because this is the part that got me where I was like, oh, she lost her mind. She goes, but you're going to do this at the same compensation that you're getting today. I said one or two things. Y'all either need to reveal what that compensation is for us to decide if that's really what he should walk away with. Because you're not going to pay me up my job, up the criteria and the qualifications and the job duties, and still pay me the same salary. That's not how that works. So they need to reveal the salary now because I need to know if they're overpaying him for nothing, because that's a whole lot of responsibility for the same pay. I'm hoping it's more than what he usually gets. What any other creative director would get. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Nicole's contract?
They had him fucked up. That's it. They had him fucked up. That's still your brother-in-law at the end of the day. So
Oh, and the deliverables. Oh, I forgot about that part. Thank you, Jim Bunny. Yeah, and the deliverables.
like they got him doing the most and you don't want to change the salary. If you up the job and you up the level of responsibility, that means that you should also up the pay. That's just standard. You want to work with the family and get the family discount, then you got to understand that it's not always going to be perfect on his side. And he has to understand it's not always going to be perfect in dealing with them too. But to pay him under what he deserves, when like Jim Bunny is saying, he deserves a 10 to 15% increase, which I would agree because they're giving him more responsibility and more to do, which he's a photographer as well. So he's going to have to be spending money out of his own pocket as well on supplies and equipment in order to achieve what they are looking for. So yeah, they had him fucked up.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
they also are not just feeling like he's lazy or something out of no reason. I think both sides are taking advantage of the fact that they family in some way, but that's just my opinion.
I agree with that to an extent, but I feel like why pay him that if it's a law? I don't know how much the salary is, y'all, because they never did disclose it. But why pay him that much in the beginning, only for you to add more responsibility but not up his pay? If he's not doing a good job. Obviously, he does a great job, which I did look at a couple of videos they had on YouTube and somewhere else. I think on their website. It is good quality stuff. He definitely knows what he's doing. But my thing is this. what are you paying him? That's what I say. If we knew the compensation, then we'd probably be like, oh yeah, Chris, you tripping. It obviously it's not that much. It's like not that much. And then the time of day they want to control, that means that he couldn't pay attention to his other clients. Because remember, this is a business for him. He probably can't pay more attention to the clients because all of his time is given back to the Braden Real Estate Group. And I don't think that's fair either. I think he should be able to make his own schedule and you should hold him accountable for hours of, duty. So if you need him to be there 80 hours a month, then he would have to work that out in his schedule and let you know what it is. That's what, instead of you giving him, he needs to be there 3 to 4 days a week or whatever it is. She said that was ridiculous. And the whole time, Jaquita was like, she's stuck in the middle. She's standing behind her husband, but she knows in the past that her husband acts on emotion and will leave a job if he's not,
No,
treated
no, 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 no,
fairly.
no, fuck all of that. Let me tell you something. Ain't no way in hell I'm letting my cousin, my in-law, I don't give a damn who you are, the cat that's walking through the alley, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna allow them to draw up a contract that in what he is describing as a 360 deal, which is not a good deal at all.
It's not. No.
All. So, like, as his wife, to some extent, I understand her not wanting to get in the middle, but she needs to have a conversation with them to figure out how to rectify it. If y'all don't trust him, then instead of doing a contract, just pay him on a per job basis or something. But they don't need to be underpaying him and expecting him to do the most. And if he is truly lazy and not answering the phone and stuff, then he needs to pick up his phone. But I think both people and both sides are wrong. She needs to listen. Bible said leaving Cleve, she needs to stick by her husband. That's what you're supposed to do. You can have
Hmm.
independence and all of that and stick beside him. You need to stick by your husband,
I
Jaqueen.
agree. I agree with her. I agree with you what you're saying because to me it just seems like yeah, at least he's making money from his passion. Like at least, it may not make him money in the beginning, but it's going to pay off because that kind of world he's entering in is always going to be needed based on how society is moving today because they realize content is what's making things get purchased and contracts getting signed. So if you have all of that, then directly speaking, everything will work itself out as far as compensation where he makes the big money later. And you don't know what that could turn into. That could turn into him working for a magazine, working for a production company. You don't know what that could turn into. So I feel like she's trying to downplay it, like as if it's not making them the quite money. Maybe it's not, but at the same time, it's his passion. If it's making him some money, stand by him because it may pay off in the long run. I think she's giving I think she's given too much complex on this. I think and sometimes when you give too much complex on something, the support looks minimal when it comes to day to day. So I think she is kind of, I don't know. I don't think she is supporting him in the way that I feel he needed to be supported. Because you can look at someone and tell that ain't no contract. That's kind of like, okay, we tired of paying you this much, so we feel you should have more duties. And that's messed up because that's not what he signed up for. So, but yeah, if that was anything else you want to add before we move on?
No, I think we about covered it.
Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is Aunt Nikki and Jamisha are in the office, and she walks in there and she talks to Jamisha about that. Now, Jamisha tells her that, it was a mess and that Justin was disappointed because my family being loud in this company. But she also said, I want to tell you one thing, but you have to promise me you're not going to get offended. And she goes, what? She goes, you was being a little too dramatic. And I said, see, thank y'all for holding her accountable. Now, Aunt Nikki couldn't really dispute that because she was. She was being overly dramatic for nothing. But she did say that Lakeisha did call her to check on her, which made her feel better about the situation because she didn't know where that was going to turn to. And Lakeisha better than I ever could have been because I wouldn't have called your ass. You was wrong. Especially now that I found out that you was the one who did it, you were wrong. So yes, I was like, yeah, definitely get her. But then the conversation does switch, and they begin talking about the land. So she knows that she has to work on her mom, Aunt Cheryl, and Aunt Charlotte to convince Oscarine, the grandmother, to make this whole project she wants in land. And she goes, well, you're gonna have to, really butter them up and make sure they're ready. She goes, yeah, they got doctor's appointments coming up, so I'm going to make sure they go to the doctor's appointment, and that's when I'm gonna talk to them and everything. And Nikki is in very big support of this. And I feel like if she, and this is where I have a problem with Nikki again, because if you're in such good support of that, and you know that your father told y'all that he wants the land to go to the grandchildren, why aren't you speaking to your siblings? Because I feel like you could
She
easily
want that
convince your mama. Hmm?
she want the money.
You think that's what it is? Because I'm
Yeah,
confused by her movement. I feel like if you are handling your mother's affairs and her real estate, why can't you pick up the phone and say, "Hey, mama, look, Jermisha idea is amazing. It can bring in this much money. We'll have long term, you know, long term wealth. And what we can do is even better than paying off the houses. We can each give each kid and each grandchildren a monthly supplement out of this rent that we about to get out of this. I think this will be better." That is not that hard to do. I feel like they don't hear Nikki. I do. That's why I feel like she's not doing it and putting all that pressure on Jermisha, is because I feel like in long-term affairs, they really don't hear her because she's the baby. And probably because she's closer to the grandchildren's ages, they don't really see her as being an adult. And I think that's Nikki's problem. I think Nikki never gets heard, so she acts out and she cries and she gestures all of this. Y'all did this to me and all this victim shit. That's why I feel like that's why she does what she does. It's because they probably her siblings don't hear her, and then her nieces and nephews probably don't respect her in that way because she's always with them as like a cousin. That's why I said she need to pick a lane. This is another example where she needs to pick a lane because it's confusing to the viewers. Where do you stand, ma'am? It cannot be both sides. Where do you stand? Anything else you want to talk about before I move on? Because I think you're finna get on my nerves all over again.
no. No.
I guess she's like, damn, Jay, you have to read up for filth like this. And I'm not trying to initially, but y'all, that lady worked my nerves this episode. She really did that two little scenes she was in. But the next thing we have Jaquita, Monet, and Lakeisha. They go and work out. And what we learned from this outing is that Jaquita and Monet are actually the closest to Lakeisha. And I actually found that interesting because Monet doesn't say much. So I kind of felt like I was reading Monet as the sister that thinks she's better than everybody and probably looks down on Lakeisha, but lo and behold, she's actually closer than her and than Nicole is. So hey, I misjudged her, so I had to take back what I said because I felt like she was one of the problems too. But to know that she is
I
one of
mean,
the ones in her
she's
corner,
just now this is the first episode where she's, like, been throughout it actually filmed, so you have no way of really judging it. You just assume that she's going to go along with her sister when that's all that we saw, but now that, you've seen her, at least it's nice to know Lakeisha is close to one of her sisters. I think that's so important.
absolutely, it's definitely important. So I feel better about Lakeisha in this situation now, knowing this. So they, do their little workouts. Jaquita was complaining about every damn thing. She had asthma. Her ankle is broken. Her foot broken. She got a bad knee. She had what she call it, a vaginic or whatever she said. That shit was funny as hell. I said, God damn. She didn't came up with it. You need a girl. You better copyright that shit because I ain't never heard it before. Copyright it and make sure you get some money. So when people start saying that shit, you get a check from it. But she was hilarious. They were hilarious. They were complaining every exercise. They was complaining. She was looking at Monet. She said, "Monet, your weight is lighter than mine." And I'm just looking at her like, "Oh my god." And then Monet started complaining when they were doing the step thing. I was like, and Lakeisha was like, "Y'all complain too much." And I said, "Thank you." Somebody said it because I'm like, damn. No offense, but that's why she's a wide back, laugh aloud, but beautiful. She is beautiful. They all are beautiful. They all are, but yes, she.
Listen, Jim Buddy told the truth and shamed the devil. I was thinking the exact same thing. She's a beautiful girl, but yeah, like I bet you some of that asthma and them ankles will feel a little better with a little less weight on top of them. Just saying, it's the truth.
You ain't got to be sorry. I mean, we all think it. So I mean, hey, and she said it. So shit. What she knew what she was signing up for when she got on TV. So she even said it herself. I think she's the kind of lady that's gonna joke on herself, so that way when you do it, you look stupid. That's what she gives me. She gives me one of those people that she gonna rib herself. So when you do it, you just look crazy because she just said the joke. So it ain't nothing to even joke about. But they begin sitting down, And they just really wanted to check on her after what happened that night, at the lounge. And Lakeisha like, I'm cool. Caramel was very, very mad at me, so I didn't get none. But hi Zeta, thank you for joining us. She said, I didn't get none, but oh well, I'm to handle my situation. Monet was like, we just want to make sure you okay at the end of the day. I know that, you and Nicole are about to get therapy so y'all can work out y'all relationship. And to me, I kind of felt like, Monet, you need to go too. When she said her and Nicole, I was like, you need to go too. Since you and Lakeisha have a bigger relationship than her and Nicole, I think you would be a middle ground because maybe you could teach your older sister how to, be somewhat in place with your other older sister, since you know how to do it just as well. So, but Jaquita had me crying when she was making fun of Aunt Nikki. I laughed so hard because she did. She had her whole face covered, and she said, "Oh," and I'm like, just extra for no reason, just extra for nothing. That's for nothing. Like, come on now, girl. Now, but yes, they were laughing, making a joke of it, and it was fun. I actually enjoyed this. I actually like Monet. I always liked Lakeisha, and Jaquita's my favorite out of all of them. So this is going to be my trio right here. Is these three for sure. So as we're coming up on the next scene, we have it's Jaquita's anniversary. She's playing her, and she planned her anniversary because she knew her husband, if it was left up to him, they'd be at home looking at each other. So she planned a very nice event. She had like this.
Oh,
Hmm?
hell, not we be at home looking at each other.
That's what she said.
What the
and
hell?
actually, I know men like this. I didn't have one. I've never had one like this, but I know that just they all right with being at home, waiting for dinner, waiting for their steak and baked potato to come out the oven. I know men like this. So she actually had it planned out. They were gonna do. I don't know what that dance was. Y'all couldn't. Someone explain what that dance was, because all I saw was three little steps, a hip shake, and then a little bit of a switch position. So what dance were they doing? I was confused by the dance. So after the dance and everything come out, the food is there. They had a chef prepare them. He had crab cakes, steak. It was very nice. This is what it's called, Jim Bunny. Okay, I'm gonna Google that and look at YouTube videos because I really want to go. Were they doing it right? Were they doing the dance right? Because I don't know. Oh, okay. I didn't know anything about it. So, um, yeah, but were they doing the dance right or were they doing it completely wrong? Because I don't recall a dance like that. But Jim Bunny's answer there probably just in a few. But y'all, they were eating and they were talking about the contract, and we learned a little bit more about her husband. And oh, okay, I got you. And what we learned is he worked for an oil factory or something like that. He had a really good job, and he had got laid off. And when he got laid off, that kind of put him in a sunken place where he's not as motivated, and she had to carry the weight because she was working and her career was booming. And to me, honestly, in this conversation, they were just talking about typical marriage. That's marriage. It's going to be like that sometimes. Sometimes you're going to be up. Sometimes your partner's going to be down. Sometimes you're going to be down. Sometimes your partner's going to be up. It's very rare, and it doesn't happen always in long term where y'all are going to be equally yoked all the time and that you're able to do things. Sometimes things happen. So you know what, Shayna? I know that's why, and I never been in that situation, either guy or girl. When I was with either or, I've never been in a situation where they were never involved in planning something. They always wanted to be like my ex. He wanted to make all the plans. We did everything he wanted to do. When I wanted to do something, I had to surprise him with it and actually do all the footwork and buy the tickets because he already had something planned that day.
No, 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 no. Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel like planning should be something that you do together because how do I know that you're excited about it if you're not like telling me what you want to do? I just thought it was weird for an anniversary. Yes, you talk about marriage and yeah, you speak about things like that, but the anniversary should like be a fun time and something you both contribute to. I don't know. That
To
I
me,
guess
it gave she's scared he gonna go down that path again by not signing this contract with her sister and cousin. She's scared he's going to go down that path where they're going to rely on her again, And so my assumption of this situation, based on how she was wording it, is that when they were in that sunken place of, putting all the burden of finances on her, it took a huge toll on her mentally. You could tell that. So she's scared that she's going to face that again. But as I said, that sometimes is marriage. You're going to have those ups and downs because the world is unpredictable, unfortunately. No job is secure. No business is secure. You got businesses that have been open 50 years that are closing today. Nothing is promised. So I wish she would look at it as a way to say, hey, you could definitely do this business, but how about you get something on the side? So that way it brings in double the money, or maybe, a pint and a half. That way we have some cushion. Because maybe that's what we need, is some cushion. Maybe learn a new way to motivate him to have more. So that way you won't be as paranoid about the situation, because Chris has said that she gets paranoid a lot. They could have money in the bank and she's still paranoid. So maybe to ease her mind, maybe get like a second little side hustle, maybe work at a little factory, a little warehouse or something. So you bring in some extra money in, because
Listen, Shayna spoke a word. I think he does look very comfortable carrying the weight. Like, yes, you go back and forth in relationships with income. There's been time I've been the primary breadwinner of my household. But the difference is my husband was like bothered by it, like extremely bothered by it. For whatever reason, he wants to like carry the weight or be the stability, as he says, and take care of his all this crap he says. But then looking back on it, I'm like, you know what? That's a good thing. Like, I'm down to do it, but at least I know when I'm carrying the weight, he is not going to make it something that's permanent. Is very, very temporary. With Chris, it does seem like he's comfortable with her doing stuff, because it's like, dang, man, you claim you love your wife and you say all this stuff in the confessional about not having a dad and being grateful that your son is a mama's boy and all these other things, but then you don't want nothing to do with the anniversary planning, and you're not working for Braden right now, so you obviously have a little bit of extra time to plan something. So I don't
mhm,
know. The worry that she has, it does seem concerning. I think they should go to counseling or something
mhm.
together, but I also think he needs to go individually.
I agree. Well, once again, Black people don't go to therapy. I was in therapy today, y'all. Black people don't go to therapy. And the reason why we don't go to therapy is because we don't want to be vulnerable with people and we're too worried about our image. And we need to get out of that mindset. I don't know what Chris's problem is. I don't know if something happened or if that really did traumatize him getting laid off a job, because that can be traumatizing, but you need to get help to get past it, because life still has to go on. And then you have a baby on top of that. So you have to get out there and work. So that's why I say, if you really want to do this photography and videography and content creating, you can do all of that. I'm not saying that you can't. And that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to say that next. He does seem resentful of something. Something is definitely there. Maybe he was promised something at this job and they didn't give it to him. I don't know. But to me, ooh, I don't know if he should sign that contract. I just don't know.
I don't think he should work for the family, HK, at all. And I actually think what he's going through right now is probably why Nicole's husband does not work for the family, even though he could. It seems like the only way working for the family works for the husbands is if you're like Jermisa's husband, where you're a real estate agent, and it seems like he's a yes man to his wife for the most part. So other than that, it seems a smidge difficult. If you're a real estate agent, it's more like cut and dry when it comes to the contract and the business, because, essentially they're following a similar standard that most other real estate agents follow in terms of pay and all of those things. But when you're doing something like Chris, where he's an independent contractor working with them, it's a little bit different, because then there's room for negotiation, discussion, and then
Mhm.
that creates complaints. So I don't think working for the family is the smartest thing for him, but it seems like if he doesn't work for the family, it doesn't seem like he has enough gigs that are sustainable, like for
Which
income.
is why I said he need to get him another hustle. Maybe get you a warehouse job, or you could work nights or something, and then do something else, so that way Jaquita won't be all in her head with her worrying about the brunt of the finances being all put on her. I think you need to do something, side hustle somewhere. I don't, until you can get this booming enough to where she ain't got to worry about the money, because that's what it seems like she's going through. But y'all, but that was pretty much that conversation. So moving on, after many attempts of calling Chris to see if he looked over the contract and assigned it, Nicole finally got them in for a meeting. But what they did not count on is Jaquita coming to this meeting as well. So they asked him, "Are you going to sign this contract?" And he says, "No, I'm not going to sign the contract, and I have another contract to give you." And the episode is a to be continued. So since they left us, because Carlos likes to leave us on cliffhangers, what do you think his contract is going to entail?
We don't even really know what the contract he got entailed. Did she say he don't wanna work at Amazon? He's complacent. He is complacent, and that's not good.
That's not good. And that's why I'm saying, when you have somebody that worries like that, like, because I understand him directly. But see, me, I'm a motivated person too. I will get a second job. If my schedule is right at my first job, I will get a second job. When it's not right, then I'm like, okay, well, how the hell am I gonna get a second job if I'm working from 10 to 7? It's not gonna happen. I'm not trying to work until midnight where it's unsafe, especially being in Florida. It was kind of one of those situations like, damn. So when I got a job, I was working on getting a second job, but just my ex beat me to it and put my ass out. But that's just what it is. But in terms, yeah, he can get, especially if he has all this free time, he can work at Amazon. He can work at Walmart, one of the places. He can work, get him, from 5 to 10. Hell, he can be a parking attendant. I was looking at that shit the other day. They make $20 to $25 an hour for hell, just parking, just making sure people pay their parking tickets and stuff. And if you got there, I'm gonna write your ass a ticket and you got to pay it when you get to the door. He can do one of them jobs. It's very simple. He don't have to do nothing crazy. He can just do something where it just brings a little extra cushion, and that can actually work out to where, hell, if the light bills due, hey, the extra job can cover that. If the car payment is due,
Hey, my husband's watching, and he go text me, "Tell James if a man wanna work, he go work. It's not gonna be a discussion." Oh, Lord. I guess, he got a point, though. If that man wanted a second
Mr.
job,
Best, you have a point. You have a point, sir. But at the same
if that man
time,
wanted to work, he would work. Stop bullshit like, no. He think the man is lazy. Damn. Listen,
the man, well, no, he is lazy. We're not disputing
damn.
that. No, he is lazy because you can't even plan an anniversary. Like, first of all, I don't know how anniversaries are supposed to be planned. I don't know if you do it one year, I do it one year, or if we're supposed to do it together.
No, that's
How,
ridiculous. I feel like there should be
how,
some anniversaries where, like, there's been anniversaries where Josiah surprised me entirely, like worked with friends and heck of stuff. But then as we've gotten older, now we just both agree, like, let's see the world together each anniversary. So we go somewhere different each year in our anniversary. Uh, but we plan it together, kind of. Pretty much, I just come up with ideas, be like, "Are you down with this?" And then he'd be like, "Okay," and then he give me his debit card. But it's still a like conjoined effort. Like he's part of the planning. I feel like whatever you do, if you're not planning it together, you should take turns planning it for each other. But it's
okay, so you do agree with the take turns and plan.
it's okay to take turns. Every marriage is different. You know what I'm
So
saying? But
so when me and Michael B. Jordan get married in the first
oh my
anniversary,
goodness, here we
I
go.
want him to plan it the first time. I want him to plan, because I'm not gonna know what to do. That's a man who's already seen all of the world. So where the hell else are we gonna go?
You know what, James? Now every
I'm
time I
just
see him, I was watching TV and I saw Michael B. Jordan in some random commercial, and every time I see this man now, I think of James. I
you should think of me, because that's gonna be me next to him in the next commercial. We just looking like a that's gonna be. I'm telling you, y'all.
Oh
Me and Michael
my
B. Jordan gonna be in the next Chase commercial. We gonna be the next, like, talking about our honeymoon between guys. Hell, you gonna see me on a surfboard. My ass don't even get in water. So yes, it's going to happen. Absolutely.
God, you're a fool. Oh my
Yes.
god.
Yes.
Jim Buddy said, "Rotate." Shayna, I agree, but everything can't fall on one person. Yes.
You talking about me, Shayna, or you talking about him? Like, are you talking about Chris on the show? What are we talking about here? Because I'm sorry, if we're talking about me, Michael B. Jordan has been all over the. Michael B.
James,
Jordan has probably been to
watch your
Antarctica.
watch your
Like,
mouth.
I'm just saying, Michael B. Jordan probably has been to Antarctica, a place you can't even go to. So where the hell else am I supposed to plan an anniversary for us to
You can
go?
go to Antarctica now. They got cruises that go there. It's
Yes, that's what
crazy.
I'm saying. I know they have, but who the hell thinks to go there? That's what I am saying. Michael B. Jordan been to Iceland already. There's a commercial based on that. So that's what I'm saying. Where are me and Michael supposed to go if he doesn't plan it? My ass ain't been nowhere. So he could just pick and choose whatever his favorite country was. That's where we go. Wherever he think is gonna be the most romance
Oh
is
my
where
god.
he could take us. I'm just saying, but where is me and Michael B. Jordan supposed to go?
Where are we supposed to go?
Where are we supposed to go? That's what I'm saying. Now change. Michael likes snowflakes.
Oh,
Mike, well,
oh,
here's the thing.
oh.
Michael ain't met me yet. Because when he met me, this is the coup de grace, baby. This is the special. This is something he ain't never gonna want to turn down. And he can like snowflakes all they want. They talk about him on TMZ and everything else. What did Nick Cannon baby mama say? I rest my case.
Which one?
Three teasy.
Oh, okay.
Y'all, I'm about to put her. Yes,
That's
she
the one
said
that's always talking to the tabloid.
absolutely. That's someone who's always talking. I believe everything she said. It's fucked up, but I believe everything she said, and I believe that it is true. And as I said, if it does not work, that's why I tell men all the time. When men start complaining about women, I tell them, try men. That's why I tell any man who complains about a woman, and it'd be the stupidest complaints you ever seen in my life. She too needy, she too picky, she did this, she did that. And I be in them comments, and and I'm gonna tag every last one of y'all when I be in the comments. I say try men. Because clearly you can't handle a woman. So try men. So I'm yeah. But yes, I think he's dabbled in the boy. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I don't feel like I want me and Michael to get married. I have my wedding planned out. I already have my outfit planned out. I already have this. I feel like we will be in tune. I feel like the world is gonna hate us, and I don't really care because y'all know me. I'm like, look, this is my life. I spoke it out into existence on my YouTube channel. I've been saying it for reviews for
James,
months.
what the hell I'm gonna do with you? What am I gonna do?
Be my matron of honor and shut up.
Oh hell, I'm good at that. I'm good at that.
Exactly,
Listen,
exactly. Be my matron of
get the
honor and be
food
quiet.
right. Just get the food right
Well,
at the
well, and
wedding.
you know what's funny? I just talked about that in therapy. How I wanted my dad to cater my wedding, and I was like,
Oh,
damn, that was the one thing he didn't get to do. He
mm.
always wanted. He always told me that when he got, when he started catering people's weddings, he was like, "James, I want to cater your wedding. I can't wait because I know you are gonna have a beautiful wedding." And I said, "Yeah, Dad, you're right." And he never got that chance. So, but yes, that food. Trust me, when my mama loud ass, yes, you can hear her now. You trust me. That food gonna be if ain't nothing right. Michael might trip and fall on our first dance. That food gonna be right. You gonna say, yeah, Michael did fall and trip and fall and everything, but that food was hitting. That's what I'm saying. And y'all gonna be able to tell the story. I'm just saying, just saying. But I didn't fell into the rabbit hole. That was fun, you guys. But that was the episode. That was the episode. We had a really good time here. It was way better than I thought it was going to be this review. Thank you guys for getting me out my funk. I appreciate it because I had a rough day today. And as I say, you all, Shayna, Zeta, who else is in the chat? HK_X, everybody, Jim Bunny, y'all invited to my wedding when it happens because it's going to happen. And why I picked him out of all people is because at the end of the day, I know that man's going to push me into purpose. That's all I'm going to say. I know he's going to push me into purpose, and that's what I want for my life. So, with that being said, thank you guys once again for joining us. We are going over to Mrs. Best channel. You are so welcome, my love. I'm telling you, it's going to be one for the books. We're going to Mrs. Best channel to do Deb's house. You guys gone over there to Mrs. Best channel because we're going to go in on Miss Deb. I already know Mrs. Best can't wait. So I will see you guys there. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here. And I will see you guys on my next recap. Bye-bye.